Lowell Planning Board meeting. Tonight, we have two matters on for public hearing, one being 50 Stedman Street, and the other one being Walgreens on Middlesex Street and Edward Street. The first matter is for a site plan review at 50 Stedman Street. The Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons relative to an application by Manak Patel on behalf of BAPS for site plan review for a project located at 50 Stedman Street. The applicant proposes expanding the existing parking lot by 51 tandem spaces using porous asphalt to cover an existing gravel lot. The parcel is located in the light industrial zone district and covers 125,411 square feet. Is anybody here from the applicant this evening? We did receive a communication sent to the Division of Planning and Development, Aaron Clausen, our associate planner, and from, let's make sure I have this right, from Mr. Manak Patel, indicating that they are requesting that this project be withdrawn from the Conservation Commission and also before the Planning Board application. It's scheduled tonight before the Planning Board, and it's also was on for June 8th for Conservation Commission as well next Wednesday, this Wednesday. Did either Craig or Aaron speak with them, or just was this gentleman here involved?
Yeah, we did communicate with them and indicated that it would be valuable to make the meeting this evening just to discuss the project and what their intentions are going forward. But essentially, my understanding is that they're withdrawing the application at this point because there are a number of elements of their submission, just technical elements in the plans themselves that make it difficult to provide substantive comments for the Planning Board and Conservation Commission. So they're generally withdrawing to regroup and rework the plan so that it can go through a process where there's not they're consistently asking for continuance.
Are you Mr. Patel, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just read the announcement, and I just noticed you came in. So we're just indicating that we did receive a letter that you're requesting to withdraw at this point in time?
That is correct.
All right. Any comments to the board members?
We continued or
Just withdrawn.
Yeah. It doesn't seem to be going well, kind of, with the Conservation Committee. It's going back and forth with small items, which is not relevant at all. And the project is so small, like getting some parking spots, like less than 50 or something. And myself is kind of right now in the project kind of delayed already, like it's almost 3 months, and we're going back and forth with Greg and Conservation Committee. So for now, it's kind of a charity issue right now, like where the funding is and the things what we need to get it done kind of thing. We can live with it, whatever it is right now. So getting paving done is not a biggest priority. We can live with the gravel which right now exists. The advantage was to get the more parking such a way in the winter we don't face the problem where we have assembly on the Sundays. So that was the concern about it. So that's what we thought, like, okay, adding some space will be beneficial, but it sounds like it's getting a long way to go. So we decided to withdraw right now.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is anybody here in the audience for this project this evening? Which the board want to accept the withdrawal? Make a motion that we allow the applicant to withdraw and come back when they have the plans intact if need be.
I'll second the motion.
Allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice.
So we have a motion to withdraw in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, okay, so the motion is allowed that this matter will be withdrawn. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Next matter on the agenda is the continuation of a site plan review and definitive subdivision for the Walgreens on Middlesex and Edward Street. This matter was continued from our last meeting. I'll just read the advertisement that was issued in the paper. The Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons relative to an application by Kaufman Realty, Inc., the site plan review and definitive subdivision for a project located at the above-listed address. The proposal includes the demolition of existing buildings and structures located along the current alignment of Edward Street, the construction of 14,820 square foot Walgreens pharmacy and relocation of Edward Street. The development project will be located on 68,067 square foot lot and includes 30 parking spaces, a drive-through window, and includes access from Middlesex and Edward Street. The applicant is seeking a site plan review under section 11.4 of the City of Lowell zoning code and definitive subdivision approval. The parcel is located in the regional retail zoning district. Last time we were here 2 weeks ago, the matter was continued to tonight's date at request of the applicant to go back with some of the comments that were made by the planning board members at that time to see if they could respond on those. And can we hear from the applicant, please?
Good evening, Attorney Catherine Flood here on behalf of Kaufman Realty, Inc. We are here tonight. I believe a letter was sent in requesting a continuance. We have been working with the city engineers regarding some drainage issues, and we need to submit the plans to them prior to coming here and appearing for a hearing.
We did receive the letters indicated by Attorney James Flood requesting that the matter be continued. It was sent to the Division of Plan and Development by them and passed on through the board members. Any board members have any comments on request for the continuance?
The only thing I'd like to add, Mr. Chairman, for the record, is at 4:30 tonight, I got an email from Brenda Manley. She spoke at the last meeting regarding this matter, and I guess she's had some meetings with Kaufman Realty as well. So she forwarded me an email that she had sent to Kaufman Realty, and I forwarded it to the board members after 4:30, so you may not have received it yet, but it will be in your email, and I sent a copy to Aaron, too, for the record.
Okay. Any board members have any problems with continuing the matter, to let them make the comments necessary as done by staff? Or?
Mr. Chairman, I have no problem with continuing the matter. I just had a question. We did receive some new plans since the last meeting. Do you anticipate any changes to those plans for the next meeting, or?
I believe the only issue that's left is the drainage issue, based on the correspondence from Jim Flood, and those plans have yet to be submitted to the engineering department.
Okay. We raised a number of issues regarding traffic and traffic flow and entrances and exits at the last meeting that still weren't addressed in this plan. I had wondered if there was any plan for the applicant to try to address those.
I believe so. I think
Okay.
that's what they're working on right now.
Well,
Okay,
we
good.
we did receive a report from the traffic.
Yeah, so
I
what,
didn't have a chance, I didn't go through it yet, because
what we sent in the mail to the board was the updated traffic mitigation and study, the mitigation plan and study from VAI. So it's at that point, it was proposed, that whether or not it's changing, I don't know at this point. But that was at that point of a week ago. Their latest version of the transportation plan included all the mitigation measures. That's just from the traffic perspective. It does include, as Catherine pointed out, the stormwater, the building elevation. There were some issues with the design and architecture that they're working on, I think, with the neighbors, and Brenda particularly was working on that. So we haven't received the full package yet. We'll be generating a follow-up set of comments from the departments on the full package for your review, and also for the applicants, hopefully by this Friday or Monday.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the motion in order? Did you make the motion? I'm
No.
sorry. Oh, okay. Anybody want to make the motion to continue?
Chairman, I'll make a motion that we continue the Walgreens site plan review and definitive subdivision to the next scheduled planning board meeting.
It is June 20th. Okay. We have a motion to continue. Do we have
I'll
a
second that.
second.
Okay, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, the matter will be continued to 6/22 weeks from tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Moving along on the agenda, we have notices from abutting towns. I entertain a motion to place those on file.
So moved.
Motion made and second. All in favor, say aye. Those matters placed on file. We have A&R reports that was given to us this evening. Anybody have a chance to digest those? Have any comments on those? If not, entertain a motion to place those on file as well.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, okay. We have matters for the zoning board of appeals, and these matters are matters that will be appearing before the zoning board of appeals on June 13th, 2011, for public hearing here. These are before us tonight for our recommendations only. And the first matter is a special permit variance for a sign. And this is Enterprise Car Rental on 280 Chelmsford Street. The applicant wants to reface 2 internally illuminated signs and exceed the allowed square footage for wall signage pursuant to section 6.3. Aaron, does Division Planning have any comments on these signs? Have you seen these yet, or does the design planner have an opportunity to look these over?
Rachel's still working on our comments, but basically, this project has a couple phases to it. The first one was a repaving of the site, and a part of that repaving was discovery that they repaved a portion that's in the city right away. And so there was, over a period of time, a discussion with the property owner in the city, and part of that included an agreement that they were allowed to use that space. However, part of that agreement was to bring the site up to landscape standards of the zoning code. Right now, you probably drove by it if you've seen it. It's right now, it's all pavement at this point. So that include some trees. So part of, just for your information, part of our comments to the Zoning Board of Appeals would be that they work with us, the Department of Planning and Development, to put together a design plan for the signage and the landscaping plan as a coherent whole, because those two things actually work together when you think about it, aesthetic impacts, but also the property owner is going to be concerned about sight lines and that sort of thing. So landscaping and maintaining those sight lines are going to be considerations. So that'll be a not specific request or comment from the DPD related to the signage, but more of an overall site development plan.
Any board members have a comment on this matter, or want to refer to the design planner for the recommendation before it goes to the ZBA?
I'll make a motion that we refer to the design planner for a recommendation.
Second?
Motion made, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, that recommendation is adopted. The next matter we have is for James Hunter and Paulo Goodhinho. This is on 439 Buttman Road to extend an existing driveway opening beyond the maximum allowed curb cut requirement pursuant to section 6110. It appears from the narrative that the people have some handicap issues, and they show a plan here, and they have a narrative. One, the person who was a victim of a drunk driver car accident, and the other person is 99-year-old man who's up from Alzheimer's, and they're looking for relief for the width of the driveway. Does Planning and Development have any thoughts on this matter, Aaron? I mean, like, it's, the only tough part, it's close to the turn on Almont Street.
Yeah, there really isn't a whole lot to add to this. I think it's one of those things where I think they're have a hardship here that they're trying to meet, or they're trying to provide facilities that they
Yeah,
can
for
get
people
access
who-
from their parking lot to the house. So I think as far as the
I
design
mean, too bad
layout,
the driveway wasn't further over and a little less further from the intersection there, but the driveway's already existing, so there's not much you can do to change it all.
And it appears there's some limitations there for existing wall on either side. So I personally wouldn't have an issue with it. It does appear to be a hardship relating to the shape and topography of the land. It does fill in an existing unpaved spot so they can get easier access in and out of the driveway, and I think they made some compelling reasons in the narrative to further their hardship. So I'd make a motion that we recommend approval.
Second?
Motion is made in second. Any discussion? Not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, that recommendation carries. Next matter we have for a special permit. This is CP&T Corporation, and the property is located at 915 Pawtucket Street. And the special permit is to allow an automotive repair garage and outdoor automotive sales pursuant to Article 12 of the zoning code.
Mr. Chairman, this site actually was, not too long ago, was being used as a auto sales
I think it's
facility.
approximately within the last 2 years, I think, of the narrative it said.
Exactly, and when you look at the location with the railroad tracks right behind there, I don't, again, I think it's an appropriate use for that site. You have the auto dealership across the street as well, and then just down the street, you have a couple of garages as well. So, I mean, I think that it's actually in keeping with other businesses that are along there. And I think when you're talking about a piece of property between the railroad tracks and Middlesex Street, I don't think the potential for any hazardous problems with that site, I think they probably exist with the railroad tracks. So I don't think that would further put that site at risk. So I certainly think that's a reasonable request for the use of that property.
So you're going to put that in the form of a motion for recommendation of
Yeah,
approval?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make a motion that we recommend approval of the request to operate a repair garage and auto sales facility.
I just have a question,
Sure.
Aaron. Does this infringe upon, there's a business back there, Specialty Materials, and they have some offices right adjacent to this lot. I couldn't really tell whether this proposal interfered with any of that or not. It's kind of a complicated little area.
Yeah, there's we've put together a handful of comments with the site layout that they've proposed, and a number of them have to do with parking and vehicular access and circulation to make sure that they meet those. They're mostly question marks at this point because in their zoning table, they're saying that they only need to be one space per 900 square feet. For the regional retail, it's actually one space per 500. So there's some clarification that's needed on parking and again, circulation, some spaces might be in a drive lane. So we're, in our comments to the zoning board, we've laid out a number of 5 or 6 elements or issues related to circulation that most likely could be resolved.
Okay.
But
I mean, they have employee parking back there, right?
provide enough,
Tell
yeah,
them
so there's employee parking, there's enough spaces for the actual auto dealership.
Any further discussion? If not, we have a motion on the floor to recommend approval.
I'll second the motion.
Motion second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Chair votes yes. Any opposition? Hearing none, that recommendation carries. Next matter is for variance, and this is for Ian Seppi on 35 Livingston Ave to construct a new single-family dwelling while exceeding the garage and maximum front yard setback pursuant to section 5.1.
Mr. Chairman, this project has come under a great deal of scrutiny in the community recently, and I think that there's probably a lot of public input, neighborhood input that we're not privy to as we consider this recommendation. So I think this is one of those cases where we should, I'd suggest we take no action and leave the zoning board to evaluate the public opinion. So I'll make a motion that we recommend that we take no action with regard to recommendation on this project.
Any discussion or a second on the motion, or?
I'll second that.
Motion made and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the matter is, recommend no action at this point in time to hear from the abutters and the people in the neighborhood, which is scheduled for the public hearing on June 13th. Moving along on that, we get back to, Aaron, any further correspondence from behalf of the planning department?
I believe that's it for now. There's going to be 550 Bridge Street is the site plan review has been submitted for the June 20th meeting.
So we have at least 3 matters on June 20th then, right? Because we have,
It's right, actually 4, because there's also...
we have 2 continued, right? We
You have 2 continued, and then there's
Walgreens
2
was
new
continued.
projects. The 550 Bridge and then Federal Carpet, which is an
Federal
L
Carpet,
Street.
yeah, that was on the paper.
That'll be for site plan review as well. That's it, though, for that meeting. That'll be a full meeting.
Okay. So sometimes we get a withdrawal and continuous, but we get it later down the road, so. Any further discussion from any of the board members? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion and second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. You picked a good night to cover.
Yeah, not much going on.
Last time Walgreens, we got it at 11.
It's good, it's good to know.